how many cliches can you wedge into one paragraph? He's the record breaker. There should be an Olympic Games. He'd get the gold medal. But it's a condition. And I do this, obviously, for a living. All right? I speak to you. From here, it goes through my mouth, and then it goes into your ear. It's a condition that he has, is that he can't formulate thoughts in a precise way. He can't. So he's got to drag all of this. Oh, I'm not joking. I mean, nobody thinks you're joking. You're not funny. All right? Nobody thinks you're being facetious. They're listening to what you're saying. And you're the president, so what you're saying is important. I mean, you know, you're like, stop it. But he can't. He can't. Because he's inarticulate and always has been. He has to, when he reads off a paper, all right, when they write things for him and he reads the teleprompter, he can do it. But when he's just speaking off the top of his head, he can't. He just can't formulate thoughts in a precise manner. That drove me nuts. Now, think I'm being too hard on him? Maybe. I might be. But there was one thing he said that surprised me, and I absolutely agree with it, and it's a very interesting story. He was talking about the high rate of drug addiction in this country, which is killing hundreds of thousands of people. Roll it.
Here's the thing. We don't have nearly enough people involved in mental health and drug addiction services, number one. Number two, we shouldn't be sending people to jail for use. We should be sending them mandatory rehabilitation. Mandatory rehabilitation.
Here's the thing. We don't send people who use narcotics to jail. Very, very rarely does that happen. They have to sell narcotics. If they use, they get a ticket in New York City. And now, with the current situation in the Big Apple, nothing happens to them. Well, if you do it in Arkansas in a small town, it's going to be a bigger beef, but not in the major cities. But what he said is mandatory rehabilitation. Now, I don't even know, again, if he knows what that is. But I know what it is because I did a master's degree paper at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University on this. Mandatory rehabilitation for drug addicts. And it is the only way you're going to get that problem under control. The professor, if you want to call him up and check my work, was Marvin Kalb, the old CBS News reporter. Marvin Kalb. He was teaching at the Kennedy School when I was there. I went to Singapore, where they have this. Now, it's punitive in Singapore. So if they catch you with any narcotics on the island of Singapore, you go to mandatory rehab 22 months. Okay? You go to a camp. And it's not nice. Now, you can, and this was the subject of my paper, you can take the program and make it humane. And that's what we should do here.